Hello, welcome everyone to the 3A Clarion GCC Leadership Roundtable. We are here to discuss about the new age Gen AI and AI capabilities in GCC and the strategic considerations for 2025. I am Sitaram Tadepalli and I lead the ML engineering group with TBS Bank. I'll be moderator for this roundtable. And I'm glad to welcome a wonderful lineup of speakers for today. First in line, I'll go with the AV Rahul. AV Rahul is an experienced AI and analytics leader specializing in retail and e-commerce. He has worked with firms like Walmart, eBay, Victoria's Secret, Kroger, to name a few. He's currently leading the analytics team at Walmart and driving the impact with data-driven decision making. Welcome, Rahul.
Thanks, Sitaram. Glad to be here.
Great. Next is Mamatha Naidu. Mamatha Naidu is a data and analytics leader with experience and expertise, predominantly focusing in the areas of retail and supply chain businesses. She is the extensive she has extensive experience in high performing teams, critical analysis, and business functions for the company. She currently leads the data and analytics teams at JCPenney India, which supports the businesses, product, and technology verticals, equipping them with the data and analytics solutions. She helps the teams that are data driven decision making that fosters companies' growth strategies. Welcome, Mamta.
Thank you, and very excited to be a part of this today.
Great. So the next panelist is Meghavi Chauhan. Meghavi has 23 plus years of deep technical expertise working with various technologies and platforms within the financial services and risk management domain, with expertise on enterprise and solution architecture, design, and development. She has worked across multi-threaded and real-time streaming architectures, parallel programming, HPC, cloud, edge computing, and now into AI and ML. She is currently working on various strategic and architectural initiatives involving large language models. Welcome, Meghavi.
Thank you, Sitaram, for this lovely introduction and pleasure to be part of this discussion.
Great. And next panelist is Vidhya Veeraraghavan. Vidhya is a distinguished leader with over 23 years of experience in data-driven solution and enterprise transformation, recognized with prestigious awards such as 3A Zenith 2024 CEO Award and Most Influential Data Analytics Professional. She has proven track record in driving efficiency, cost reduction, and decision making through advanced analytics and digital transformation. Passionate about advancing AI in financial services, she continues to bring cutting edge technology with business needs, delivering long term value and resilience. Welcome, Vidya.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Wonderful. So, with this wonderful panelist on board, I think this discussion will be a great learning for everyone who is listening to this. So, let me quickly start. I'll go to Vidya. So, as we are heading towards New Year, and this would be a right time for the organizations to plan their upcoming year and focus on deliverables. So, what is your opinion? Should be like part of the next year AI roadmap, especially for banking industry?
That's a very good question. I think appropriate for the time that we are in right now. In banking industry, I believe the focus still remains how to enhance your customer experience, how to be more efficient with your operational processes, and how to be innovative and transformation on digital front, right? So these are the focus areas as always. But I see that there is a slight difference between what has happened in 2024 and what will happen in 2025, or what should happen in 2025 with the changing times that we have, right? So 2024, it was the year of foundation building. It was the year of in initial deployments, and then we were focusing on efficiency, being efficient in even deploying the models and the solutions that we have. We are still in the process, or probably at the fag end, of laying the groundwork so that the AI is adopted, focusing on data infrastructure, talent acquisition, and also, POCs, the proof of concept projects that we had worked upon. Now, what lies, or what should be the plan, or what should be the focus for 2025 is more on the maturity and scale. So we want the AI application should be more advanced, and also it should focus on scaling up, optimizing, so that the existing solutions can be adapted across the organizations, across the industry. Now, definitely hyper personalization is something which gives that edge for each and every bank over the other banks. So deeper personalization of customer experiences, leveraging AI to tailor the products and also services to individual needs and preferences. I think that should be the focus using AI. And most importantly, now that we have a lot of, I wouldn't call it noise, but a lot of recognition or the the thought process around ethical AI and responsible innovation. So that is definitely going to be something which is going to stand out in 2025 as the planning phase begins, because it has an increased emphasis because of a lot of important organizations coming up with the principles, and banks are definitely one of the pioneers to adapt this. So these are the few things or few areas where I see that there should be focus in 2025. And it's already visible, quite visible in the industry also.
Yeah, I think the ethical practices, and especially for financial services, it's very, very important, to have more responsible usage of AI. I think there's a lot of work happening there, and definitely, I think next year we are going to see a lot in that space.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. We definitely are gearing up. In fact, each and every model which goes live has to cross a lot of, uh, guardrails that we have put around ethical AI and being responsible. Is a model biased? Is the data suitable for the particular solution, a particular problem, and the solution that we have devised? All these are considered, and definitely, is it ethical to deploy this? Whether the AI will actually help us, or probably it is going to add more chaos in the organization. So that's what we are deliberating and making an effort to clear all the guardrails, or confirm our model to be good enough for us to cross the final line. So that's where we are headed.
Wonderful, good to know that. Let me switch gears to Meghavi. Meghavi, how have these LLM architectures evolved over last year, and what are the innovations which are shaping the next generation of models? Or going into 2025, what are those things you can talk about?
Yeah. So thanks, Sitaram, and something which is very close to my heart in terms of the LLM architectures. But I must say, what an incredible year it has been, right, in terms of LLM evolution. When we started 2024, we saw LLM architectures, they evolved significantly through a lot of innovations in model scaling, data management, application frameworks, a lot of tooling. The year began with a breakthrough in modular LLM architectures, where we saw models that were no longer monolithic. LLMs evolved into modular systems where components like reasoning modules, retrieval mechanisms, language generators came into picture. And all this helped with a lot of increased customization because we had a lot of modular deployments, and then scalability while also reducing the training time. Then we saw a lot of multimodal models, like, for instance, OpenAI's GPT-4o coming in picture, which could interpret text, images, audio, video, and that allowed for much more context-aware interactions. For instance, users could upload image and receive detailed analysis. Smaller models, which achieved a lot of performance improvements, sometimes surpassing much larger models by using high quality training data, optimized scaling techniques. We saw a lot of work being done in distilling the models. This helped in reducing the parameter count, and also it led to boosting the capabilities. Especially we saw a lot of innovations happening in reasoning and code generation tasks. A RAG, retrieval augmented generation, has been used extensively now in the organizations. We saw advanced RAG with knowledge graphs coming into picture. Tools like LangChain and Llama Index, they emerged as essential orchestration frameworks. Open source LLMs, continue to close the performance gap between proprietary models. And we saw a lot of community efforts being put into the entire open source models, especially from new releases from organizations like Meta, Hugging Face. Then now what everybody's talking about these days, right? The rise with agentic workflows. Now they are being combined with RAG. So all this has been a tremendous improvements in 2024. Now going forward, if we look at 2025, with the building blocks, I would say now that it's already in place, we would see a lot more operational focus on the AI products. So if I have to put it into broadly into two buckets, right? Efficiency and effectiveness. So efficiency, we will see AI will become much more resource efficient over time. Sustainability, I think, will be a big focus. Most of the big players are already working on reducing cost, adopting energy efficient techniques. So recently I read this lovely paper from Microsoft where they were talking about using zero water for cooling, for instance, building more energy efficient AI infrastructure, using carbon-free energy resources. So a lot of this innovation in hardware with supporting physics like better cooling systems, lower power utilization, along with we are seeing a lot of multi-tenancy design. So this will lead to, and this is of course, led to decreasing token cost. What we used to see when we started, early 2023 to now, there has been a drastic reduction in cost, along with reduced memory bandwidth requirements. Performance has increased because of a lot of these techniques like model quantization, for instance. And all this, I feel, has only helped and will only help adoption of Gen AI across a lot more as well as small enterprises as well. There'll be a lot of focus, I think, on improving inference and reasoning. And when we talk about effectiveness, right, a lot of work, as Vidhya was mentioning about ethical and the responsible AI part of the models, a lot of work will be done on LLM evaluations. Not that it's being done, not done now, but a lot more focus would be on it, making sure that the outcomes are very accurate, effective. We'll see hallucination mitigation techniques, bias detection, correction algorithms, a lot of those techniques like RLHF with reinforcement learning involving human feedback, direct preference optimization. Now we are seeing using LLM as a judge, LLM as a panel to evaluate the outcomes. So all in all, I would just summarize and say that measurement, customization will be the key to building AI responsibly. And I think those would be some of the focus that I see with 2025.
Wonderful, lot more exciting
Yeah.
going to come in 2025. I think it's good for everyone. Let me switch gears on the retail side. Let me ask Rahul. So Rahul, what are the latest areas or opportunities that retail organizations are focusing, especially on Gen AI, and particularly how the GCCs are helping to drive, say, like personalized shopping experience and so on?
Sure. Thanks, Sitaram. Very valid question. And I'll just extend whatever Vidya and Meghavi also called out. I think this year has been great for the field of AI and Gen AI. We have seen advancements of LLMs, advancements of infrastructure, improvement in infrastructure to help organizations use and leverage Gen AI technologies at a much cheaper cost. That has definitely boosted ability of more GCCs and in more use cases to use Gen AI. That said, I think another important point that came up was around what we learned this year. So this year has been a year of learning for large organizations, particularly GCCs, on what is the right data infrastructure, how what are the prerequisites that needs to be set up for leveraging Gen AI to its fullest. And POCs. We also spoke about POCs. So a lot of POCs establishing value, establishing outcomes. So at the end of this year, I think most organizations are now at a place where they understand, yeah, these are my focus areas which will add value to me, and this is where I want to invest next year. Now, with that context, now talking about personalization, since you asked about personalization in shopping experience, I think personalization, hyper personalization has been the buzzwords for quite some time. We've all been hearing about it. But I think with Gen AI, hyper personalization has much more added nuance to it. There are two dimensions to hyper personalization, particularly, which we are able to accelerate on using LLMs, using the Gen AI technologies. One is real time. How real time am I able to optimize and dynamically uh, uh, change my customers' shopping experience? Now, what I mean by that is, let's say a customer did something yesterday. If I'm able to tweak how the customer's experience would change today, or something they did in the morning, how can I make their experience better in the evening? So more and more real time, we are able to use more real time insights. And LLM with LLMs now, it's not just about data. The LLMs are able to provide insights in an automated fashion. So that has made it more real time, uh, the personalization solutions. The second dimension where we are seeing acceleration is complexity. It's not about maybe just one or two or few factors. Now we are able to integrate holistically everything that is in the ecosystem of e-commerce in the organization, and bring it on to personalize and improve customer experience. Ultimately, for a e-commerce organization, for any e-commerce organization, the value is, am I able to convert the customer to make a purchase? And how dynamically I'm able to change the customer experience. Let's say when a customer looks at an item page for a product, how differently can I show different portions of the page to different customers depending on what matters to them. And when I talk about complexity, uh, can I, if I'm already running, let's say, some campaign somewhere through some channel, which I know that this customer is maybe price sensitive, can I can I proactively show or inform the customer, yeah, you can leverage that campaign while they are shopping. So more and more complexity and more real time uh, insights are what are driving the next level of hyper personalization in shopping experience, particularly for retail and e-commerce industry. I hope I was able to get share some insights there. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice. I think very important things like how do we bring the power of AI, Gen AI to, create that experience to the customers. So it's much more personalized and all that. I think that is much more required, especially for retail. So while we are on this topic, I would like to, uh, head over uh, direction to Mamta. So Mamta, I just wanted to check like how generative AI redefine the same personalized customer experience in detail, and what are the strategic shifts should like the brands should prioritize in 2025? What changes they need to do so that they give the best personalized customer experience. Could you talk on that a little bit?
Oh yeah, thank you for that. I think Rahul very aptly touched upon, hyper personalization and its importance as well, right? And how you can even get to it. I think in the past we've had a lot amount of data on the customer purchase history, their browsing patterns on the retail websites. But I think what we're able to do right now is very effectively marry that with social media activity, right? Current events to kind of provide context suggestions versus just basis of what they've bought in the past, right? Like we are factoring in interests as well, and we're able to do that real time, right? And it could be basis of just things like weather or events that's happening within your specific location. So I think hyper personalization is definitely something that the retailers need to continue. We've done a lot of POCs in the past years, but I think 2025 is definitely a year where we'll have to take that a step forward. I think just not that. If you think about all of the interactive customer experiences that we've created, right? Either with the virtual shopping assistants that we've had, it's just not limited to the AI chatbots, right? The voice assistants, the virtual fitting rooms that we have, including the virtual try on for makeup and clothes, right? That I think we'll see a lot more expansion in 2025 because we want to kind of bridge the walls between like what stores experiences and .com is and bring that together as a true omni-channel strategy. So I do believe we'll see a lot of that as well in 2025 and integration with AR, VR. I think just all of the experiences, gamification, a lot of websites that we're able to do is very, very powerful. I think another area that we could see is a lot more tailored marketing content that we have. Tailored ad copies, tailored visual personalizations, the ads that you will see basis of your interests and just not basis of what you've bought in the past. Uh, I think all of this will eventually lead to a lot more loyalty and retention of the customers, which is what as retailers is very key, right? Like how do you get more customers and how do you get them to purchase more by building loyalty? And it's just not the purchase experience. There's a lot more on the post purchase, which is basically after the order has been placed, right? The follow up, the tracking, the returns experience, the complementary products, right? Like your upsell or, the shop the look, which will tell you, fashion advice on, hey, you bought these trousers, these will go well with these pair of shoes or shirts and things like that, right? So I think those are important because, like I said, as a retailer, it's just not about getting your customer to come back and shop, but shop more. That's adding to your business. But to be able to do all of this, I think it's important to embrace a data-driven personalization, which means that you need to have all of your information in a unified platform. I think several of us have made that investment in the past, but that's super important because everything that we build on is on the strong foundation. So I would reiterate that, the unified customer data platform will still continue to be number one. And investing in real-time AI systems is also key. And I think figuring out what is the right balance of human and AI collaboration, right? What we don't want to do is replace AI with all of the human creativity. So how do we use AI to create like more emotional or personal connects with our customers is something that, we should consider and will be a focus in 2025. So those are my 2 cents.
Very nice, very nice, Mamatha. Thanks for that. Um, so in the similar lines, I would like to ask a question to Meghavi. Meghavi, like, how do we see this LLM usage, beyond the conversational usage in 2025? We have seen like a lot of work happening on the conversational usage, right? So how do we see this beyond that?
Right. So, Mamta and Rahul, right, they both talked about in retail where they are seeing a lot of potential with real-time systems. And these are all my personal opinions, right? But what I feel is in FSI also, we have seen a majority of use cases around, as you said, conversation interfaces, uh, sophisticated content generation, advanced data analysis. But personally, I feel there's a lot of potential for low latency real time streaming as well as edge use cases. There are many use cases, for instance, even in FSI, like real-time translation, dynamic pricing, where you are adjusting pricing in real time based on the market fluctuations and demand predictions, real-time market analysis and trading decisions. Algorithmic trading is still a little far away, I feel, but a lot of work around real-time market analysis, real-time fraud detection, even in edge LLMs, right? Edge use cases like on-device financial planning and investment recommendation. On device, if you can do a document review, do some smart contract validations, risk analysis. I think all this, especially the edge and the real-time streaming, have a lot of potential. But also, if you look at the entire LLM architecture and deployment, right? Deploying LLMs for real time and edge applications presents some unique challenges, like primarily, which is around latency and scalability, because sometimes the real time applications, right, they demand immediate responses, typically within milliseconds. And LLMs, due to their computational complexity, can sometimes introduce significant latency. So, what this would mean that we would require a multifaceted approach in, involving model selection, very efficient inference techniques, a robust infrastructure. And I see a lot of work is being done now on optimizing inference engines, creating efficient data pipelines. We are seeing a lot of distilled models coming into picture, like creating model models to mimic the behavior of large pre-trained models. And this will all lead to, fewer parameters, faster inference times. Quantized models are coming up, which require less memory and bandwidth. They're faster. Mobile-friendly architectures, like, for instance, mobile BERT or tiny BERT, are being adopted. There are a lot of other architectures, like, for instance, Reformer, which is an efficient transformer model, which improves the efficiency for long sequences and reduces memory footprint. There are fast transformers like flash attention, which are designed for which are much faster than traditional transformer architectures. And they do not even lose the accuracy. So these are only naming a few of them. But what I'm trying to say is, in summary, if we have to summarize everything, with all this optimizations that is happening in inference, memory, compute, edge optimized models coming to picture, I see many low latency and edge use cases evolve, in FSI especially.
Thanks for the insight.
Yeah.
Let me talk to Mamatha. So for example, what is the role of AI driven insights and automation, playing in supply chain management or inventory forecasting or demand planning, especially in retail, right? So those are very, very important areas. Like, how do you see that, these AI driven insights are playing a lot of role, especially in the coming year?
Oh, yeah. I think supply chain is the heartline for any retailer, right? And huge opportunities in the way we are, driving insights and also driving optimization through our whole supply chain channel, right? I think key things that's important for us to be able to do is, leveraging AI is the real-time monitoring and supply chain optimization. So to be able to track real-time of, where the shipment has started, is there a disruption, difference in timelines? Because what you don't want to do, like in the past, to say, hey, my shipment has been loaded from country X, but we don't know what is happening, because I think in all of the geopolitical disruptions that have happened, it was tough to kind of keep track. And I think now, leveraging real-time monitoring, we are able to plan our supply chain better, and we know exactly when the products will be received in the warehouses, right? And also, it will help us understand if there are different routes that your shipment needs to take, right? Like efficient routes, or even eventually that will help you cut down transportation costs, right? Or even your delivery time. I think that's another key thing. The third one, I think, is, if we're able to do the real-time monitoring, be able to plan differently, you're obviously mitigating risk, right? Disruptions that happen, any shifts in market, etc. You're staying ahead of the game, and you're optimizing the way you're getting your products into your warehouse and eventually into your stores, or even be able to sell it on .com. I think the second thing in supply chain is to be able to do accurate inventory forecasting. I think inventory forecasting is one of the biggest pain point of retailers, because you want to be able to predict demand very effectively, so that you've not, bought short or you don't have excess, right? So I think the accurate demand prediction using historical data and also the external factors, right, will help us be a lot more precise in our demand planning and also in our replenishment, right? Is there a way, if I'm able to implement these real-time AI systems, that I probably replenish near just in time, versus, buying this X months ahead and really not catering to the current situation or the shift in needs of our customers, right? I think that becomes very, very important, and we're able to do that effectively, that inventory planning more effectively. Uh, I think eventually, if we are able to get to some of this in supply chain, it will lead to huge cost savings, lower carrying costs, because you're not sitting with a lot of inventory and you're able to move that across your supply chain. I think efficiency gains as well, right? Like automation of repetitive tasks, right? Even your demand forecasting, right? Like it should be very quick, real time, and easy to do, so that you're able to probably run your forecasting models like every week, and maybe at a point even every day, to know, hey, have my trends changed, etc. And ultimately all of this leading to a better customer experience, right? So you're making sure the right product is there for your customer at the right time, and you're really not having to deal with stock out situation or excess inventory. So I think it's very, very important for retailers to adopt these AI platform systems and integrate that end to end in the supply chain, versus just a part of the supply chain and the proof of concepts that we've done in the past. I think this, for me, definitely, as I understand, will be a game changer to be able to scale supply chain and also kind of work with reduced costs.
Great insights, Mamta. So, Vidya, I would like to pick your brain. So, we do see a lot of technological advancement around us every day, right? So, and sometimes they are directly applicable to the industries, and sometimes they are like simple fluff, right? So, what, according to you, will be the best bet in the advancement of AI in the coming year?
Um, uh, that's a good way to put it. Some of them are really simple fluff. So in my opinion, we do have two breakthrough technologies which have started working its magic in all the industries, especially in banking. Definitely generative AI, the advanced versions of that, implementing RAG, fine tuning even the LLMs to suit more the narrow language model that we can build, which has more banks data and customers data. So generative AI, like Mamta mentioned, the POCs are done, right? We are done with all of those. What we have to do is to see how this can scale up beyond the conversational AI that we, a couple of us discussed about, right? So generative AI definitely has to get in the mainstream and also have to be an active assistant to the person who's going to be dealing with those processes. So this is definitely something that everybody has to focus upon. And it's evident, right? So we industries are ready to invest in the in the technology itself and try to use it as much as possible, so that the bottom line is the same, right? You have to have better customer experience, like Mamta mentioned. You have to have better efficacy and efficiency, like Meghavi mentioned. So all these are the bottom line. So we are trying to build in all these technology as a layer on top of the data that we have, the expertise that we have, to serve our clients better and to have much more cost efficiency. So generative AI definitely is something which is not a fluff. It is going to be there with us. It's already, being part of us. And, we also heard the speakers speak about the edge computing, where it is going to be utilized at the end user level itself. So we are equipping our employees, our leaders, and our customers equally, so that everybody can, try to use all these things in their day-to-day life. So generative AI is definitely one of the, emerging, or rather emerged technology that has, that has and also is going to play a good role in the upcoming years also. Another one which I see, which has a very promising future, is the agentic AI. Now we do have, agents which can help us automate the regular task, and so that the people, or the employees, or the staff, the organization, and the leaders can focus on much more intellectual. And so the agentic AI, everybody understands that it is more the autonomous way of doing this, repetitive actions, so that you save a lot of intellect for the things that you actually build upon top of the agentic AI. Even though agentic AI can be playing a good role, we need humans to guide it, right? So that is where the humans will put in more energy, more thought process, to find out how agents can help us in each of those technologies that we have already devised. Say the combination of RAG and agent will definitely have a much more superior outcome, rather than just going with the RAG, right? So that is something that we can look at. Again, same thing for named entity recognition, your OCR activities. All these can be converted into agentic AI, so that the base is completely automated, and it comes to a level where you can focus on the residual, or which needs more thought process, or your SME expert to go in there. So these are the two areas. Definitely, they are going to be part of our focus in 2025, and little beyond that as well, until we get something more to play around with. So these are the two, not so fluff. So yeah, something which look forward to.
Good. I think when it all started, generative AI, people were quite skeptical that, is this going to be a hype, another hype, or a
Yep.
bubble cycle, and so on. But now we are seeing there's a lot of practical, projects, and
Yeah.
started as POCs, and then getting into more projects, now into agentic AI, right? So I think there's a quite a good promise which we are seeing, that these applications can bring to businesses, right? So
Absolutely. I do agree with you. But there is a little trick there, although we see these happening, all around us. We are seeing the generative AI has kicked in. A lot of industries are coming out and saying that we are using generative AI, and we are able to move towards the ROI, which is, at the end of the day, that is what everybody is interested in. But how do you adapt to these quickly? How quickly can you adapt to these, are the things that has to be considered, right? So you can always start small and see how it goes. And you can also leverage the existing tools. You don't have to just go buy something which is fancy, and which is out of the box. You can still utilize whatever you have already invested in. And same goes with the talent also. So you don't have to go look for prompt engineers, or somebody who can build an LLM for yourself, because these are an extension of what we already have. So basically you have to um, you know your employees who are already good at what they are doing within your organization. You have trained them to suit your organization. All you have to do is just give them little more help, so that they can scale up for the scale up or skill up for their AI and machine learning also. And definitely, if you have external collaborations, like you can partner with various other fintech startups, and then you can find how you can co-create solutions with them, because they have the deeper expertise of the technology itself, and you have people who have deeper expertise in the processes and the products that you already are selling from your company. And then all these things, combined with the ethical considerations that I talked about in the beginning, gives you the whole package, right? So whole package is what we are looking at, and that would definitely add value to the organization in a way that you are not you are like the wheel of life, right? You are not up and down in anything, you are equally moving towards improving everything around you. So that that is something which definitely people should start thinking in that way, so that all these technologies are going to be assistants, and without us the technology does not exist. People should understand that also. There's a lot of scare around, will it take my job, or will I be out of job? You will definitely be out of job if you don't adapt yourself to AI, right? So at the end of the day, it's something that you have created, and make it work for you, right? Make it work for you, and you try to fit in the AI world, because going forward, it is going to be not only your human team members. We are also going to be dealing with agentic, team members also, because there are some activities which the agent is going to do. So you have to develop that mindset that I'm going to work with both humans and machines. So how quickly can I adapt to these, and how well can I maintain this, so that everybody is collectively reaching their goals. So that is something that it's more a mindset change, I believe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very good, very good. So let me put some light on the GCCs. I'll go to Rahul. Rahul, I think GCCs are very, very important, and they've been very crucial. So how do you think that these GCCs are enabling the parent organizations to drive better outcomes more efficiently, especially using the GenAI and other technologies?
Sure. So Sitaraman, very, very important and good question to address. Uh, Again, just touching upon some of the things that Meghavi, Vidhya, and Mamatha said. Mamatha talked about supply chain, right? So an organization internally also works like a supply chain, right? We have various different job roles, and they one depend on each other to achieve their outcomes. Uh, so at the same context, if we think about GCCs, right? Traditionally, when GCCs were set up, why were they set up? GCCs were mainly set up to create that talent density for specific technology driven roles, primarily, right? If I look at overall all of GCCs in general, primarily this is how GCCs are being set up, which is having a very high talent density, particularly in technology roles, which will help accelerate technology driven initiatives, technology driven innovation for the larger parent organization. That was a original, we can say, historical context of setting up GCCs. Now Gen AI just adds to that objective further, right? I think GCCs have over the last 1 2 years have tried, experimented, hired, and trained enough talent, and talked about talent density, right? So, making a very, very dense talent pool uh, to enable larger organizations adopt to GenAI and new age technologies much faster. I think Vidya spoke about that, right? How organizations need to adapt to this change to be at the top of the game. Now, particularly, how are GCCs enabling larger organizations operate better? That's where the supply chain context comes in, right? Now, different job functions have different responsibilities, but then within an organization, different job functions also depend on each other. Now, using GenAI, now GCCs are driving and building solutions to increase employee efficiencies, right? How can I do some of my mundane tasks automated and faster, so that most of my time I can spend in more challenging, more complex problems, which I probably did not have time to do earlier, right? Or I can prioritize them now. And I can achieve the same objectives with more efficiently, right? Maybe faster. Second, we talked about dependencies within job roles, right? So if I'm dependent on some other team and that team is further dependent on some other team, and then it's a cycle, right? Now I can actually build GenAI solutions that can bring in those process efficiencies, which can automate and predict what could be the possible dependencies, what could be the possible timelines, and establish a smooth functioning from one one step to the next step, ensuring a smooth project execution. So I think these are two areas where I see particularly GCC is playing a major role in driving operational internal efficiency by building solutions for employees uh, for the parent organization.
I just wanted to quickly add, because this just crossed my mind when you were talking about the two major things which are going to happen, right? Which will add value, right? So imagine a person who's sitting there and trying to address a customer query, and they have to go through multiple systems because banks are predominantly legacy ones, have a lot of data sitting in various systems, and there is no unique place where you can retain this and have all your questions answered. So basically, the SME who's going to handle the customer is going to bounce between multiple systems to get the answer. And definitely this is, if this is real time, right, it is going to create more time to address the queries. But if you have a Gen AI or a conversational AI which can do this, or an agent which can do this at the back end, and when you type the question, it returns the exact answer that you're looking for within the data that you have already accumulated, I think that's the best thing, and that's the easiest. This is going to be an additional assistance that you are getting as as a customer service executive or a person who's handling a portfolio of the customer, so anything. So if you have enough assistance, you can make generative AI and agentic AI your assistance. Your work is done in a much faster fashion. I think that adds value, isn't it?
Absolutely. And particularly GCC's large organizations have the scale of data to make
Yeah.
sense and build something which is relevant.
Absolutely, yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. I think when initially GCC started, they were thought to be like a service organizations, extended service wings. But now we see there's a lot of innovation happening, and
Yeah.
especially GCC is contributing in the core innovation of the parent organizations,
Yeah.
and working on these new technologies, I think, is going to add fuel to it, right?
Yeah,
So
we are looked at as technological partners rather than just a cost save or a labor intensive world.
yes,
And not anymore.
absolutely, absolutely. So I think we will have last few minutes. What I wanted to talk is, like, last year we saw a lot of work happening on generative AI, and now we are seeing a lot work on agentic AI and agentic AI workflows. I want to quickly pick your brains to talk about. I think anybody can talk about it. Quick two applications which you think that, okay, in your area of expertise, like these two applications where agentic AI can be implemented quickly, and then we can get a lot of ROI from a business standpoint, right? So what do you think? Anyone can go in any order.
Sure, maybe I can go first.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
think the space of retail, I feel agentic AI, I think we already spoke about it through the session, but just summarizing, I think there are many use cases, but two major use cases that will play a big role next year, 2025 and beyond. One is how do we handle customer experience? So when customers reach out to the organizations for their grievances, how can we leverage agentic AI solutions that can help organizations leverage address and leverage that grievance better and faster. I think that's first application I see which will have a major impact. The second one I feel could be internal facing, where let's say one part of the organization needs an input on another part of the organization. Internally, I think particularly GCCs and large organizations have enough data to build internal solutions at scale uh, to uh, to help optimize and maybe get to the resolution or right answers or right details faster internally between teams. I think these are two applications I feel where GCCs could possibly invest to scale next year.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, from the bank's point of view or financial services point of view, there can be groundbreaking, innovations around the fraud detection and prevention, because that has a lot of manual, manual work that we do before we actually reach to a point. And there's a lot of data that we have to look at and churn before we identify a fraud ring, for example, or a money mule operation which is happening across the world from remote locations. You will not, with naked eyes, you will hardly be able to find out all these things. But if you have a technology which can skim through all these things and actually give you a pattern at the end of the exercise, I think that would be saving a lot of time, preventing the fraud before it is happening, and also put the right controls in place so that it is not bypassing that. That's one of the applications that I can clearly see where this can be, the newer technologies can be used. The other one is that, again, it's a risk oriented, like cyber risk that we talk about, right? So every day, there are a lot of monitoring which happens because you are connected, right? The whole globe is connected with your network, and you need to be safeguarding yourself. And there is a continuous monitoring which is required to pass through whether this data or whether this package which is coming in, whether it is going to harm my network, or whether it is going to be, can I see, identify a fraudulent one or a hack one, so that I can cut it off right there, so that it does not spread anything within my network. So that needs a lot of constant monitoring, and it is a kind of a fixed ways of doing that, right? So you can train an agent to do that, and also you can ask the agent to send you the reports or triggers or alarms to the right people when there is something which is suspicious, or there is something which is going to happen, so that gives you a clear edge before the disaster hits you. So these are the two places where I see that newer technologies like Gen AI and agentic AI can actually play a good role.
So, as Rahul and Vidya mentioned, right, risk management, one of the areas that I feel that where which we don't talk enough about is search engine optimization. So, using, for instance, agentic workflows across all your knowledge bases to help both internally, maybe it could be your internal knowledge bases to help with the employee yeah, understanding of the knowledge bases within the organization, or externally, how you help your clients with, understanding your products. So I feel the SEO part, the search engine optimization, and using all the knowledge bases efficiently is going to be one of a good way in how agents could be put to use. And the second, I would definitely, say it's around risk management, for instance, how we are looking at again, as Vidya said about fraud detection, how we're looking at optimizing our internal and external supply chain security, the entire third-party risk management. Those are the areas where I feel agents would do really well.
I think for retail, extending to what Rahul covered, and even between Vidya and Meghavi, I think there are two broad themes, right? Like, how can I use agentic AI to have people do more higher value tasks, right? Like, it's not about watching for those alerts or, spending all of your time to catch that, one string which seems to break the whole thing down, right? Like, how can we move people towards doing more higher value? And I think definitely leveraging it to retain your customer experiences. I think in this age of commerce and quick commerce, where everything gets done in like 10 minutes time, like you really don't want your customers waiting too long to get responses on, usually when they call the contact center, it's complaints, it's issues. So I think, if you're able to get to a point where you're able to respond to issues faster, that's building loyalty. They're going to come back because they know if after I purchase, if something's bad, my experience of post purchase is going to be very quick and I'll get a quicker resolution. So I think two broad themes, definitely, that I would kind of just summarize. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. A lot of insights, a lot of knowledge. Quick 30-40 minute discussion. I think it will be great benefit for everybody who is hearing this. So thank you very much for your time spending, and then we'll catch up some other time. And thanks.
Thanks for all the insights.
Yes, of
Retail
course.
world is really gearing up faster for 2025. I see, apart from banking also. So good to hear all those insights. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks everyone. Personally learned a lot today.
Same.
Thank you. Yeah, couldn't agree more.